I fap, I come, I fap again. Here's the answer to your last two questions, which were I have trouble hitting my caloric intake for the day, and your intake is 91 grams of carbs, 206 grams of protein, and 71 grams of fat. And then also, how do I conserve muscle while still losing fat? So I'll start with the second question. So a lot of people have this perspective that you either can do one or the other. And I think that's just too much of an extreme way of thinking. Like if you have an adequate diet that has an appropriate amount of protein and you supplement accordingly. Now, you don't need to supplement because you could be getting what you need to be getting from food only, but supplementation does help specifically with maintaining muscle rather than having that muscle cannibalized during the fat loss stage. But for the most part, the best way to conserve muscle is to ensure your protein amounts are adequate, and yours are at 200, which is great for your body weight. Like I personally eat 200 on a day to day, and I'm not sure if I have more muscle mass than you, but for the most part, it sounds like kind of we're in the same ballpark there. So I'm at 200 a day, so I would say keep your protein levels there. And from a carbohydrate perspective, you also need to ensure that you get the appropriate amount of carbs, because carbs obviously help with glycogen and muscle recovery and energy levels. And if your carbs are too low, your body's then going to say, well, we use carbs as our main source of energy. If there's not enough carbs to get, then we're going to go to protein and fat intake and what you eat from there calorically to use that for energy. And in some instances, that would involve going to the muscle stores to get it. So you got to make sure your carbohydrates are at a good enough amount. So to answer your second question, which is you have problem hitting your calorie numbers or your macronutrients. One, your carbohydrates are way too low. Like 91 grams, like even when I'm getting ready for a show, or I've helped people get ready for shows, or just other people that I've worked with to help them better manage their nutrition, 91 is never as low as we get to, like never. Like 150, 125 for someone that doesn't handle carbohydrates well is the low side. Like I've been in instances where I'm down to 5 to 6% body fat, and I'm still eating 175 grams. Like in the picture that I posted from 2013 when I did a photo shoot, now I'm not shredded beyond belief, but I was eating 175 right until that point, and that was the lowest that I got. So I would highly recommend you almost double your carbohydrates. Like at a minimum, like 150 and above. Like anything below 150, you're gonna, like anything below 200, you know how difficult that is to maintain? Like that's why you're over exceeding your calories all the time, because you eat something and it's gonna have carbohydrates in it for the most part, and your carbs are so low, you're setting yourself up for failure there, right? So I would recommend you get your carbs above 150, ideally closer to 180, so double in that. Proteins at a good enough place, fats at a good enough place if your goal is to lose some weight, which sounds like it is, because I usually have around 70 grams of fat while doing a mini cut, like what I've done in the last month or so. So 70 is a good place to be to maintain good hormone levels, to feel good, feel healthy, to get the brain energy that you need. So that would be my recommendation. And I think by simply making that shift and continuing to use tools like MyFitnessPal, you'll be able to hit your calories more frequently, and it'll bring a positive emotion, a level of motivation, and you should be able to make some solid progress. So hopefully that helps.